let's talk about some coaching changes that have happened this offseason, because I want to get your take on, like, I guess just like what's the one that first comes to mind? What's the one that pops the most for you?
Pitino, for sure. I mean, like,
I was hoping you'd say that.
I wrote down Pitino in New York City is so cool, and I forgot he was just in New York City. Like, Iona is in New York, but it's not the same. Like, St. John's is the premier brand. They're going to be playing at Madison Square Garden as much as possible based on what he wants to do. Like, and I think they're going to be pretty darn good. The transfer class is good.
You think because that was my follow up was like Pitino to St. John's to me is the basketball version of Dion to Colorado, where it's like
they did the same thing to the roster.
But just like dominating the off season buzz, and they're obviously very different coaches. I mean, Rick Pitino is one of the greatest basketball coaches of all time. Deion Sanders, he won
in the SWAC.
He won in the SWAC, so it's like it's a little different. But in terms of just like, holy shit, this changes everything. I feel like the parallels are there. But then once you get you process like the excitement, then the follow up is like, all right, so now what do we expect moving forward? And as I said to Nicole, for Dion, he could quit today, and I think they're building a statue for him. They're like, damn, you're one of the best coaches we've ever had at Colorado. Good work, Dion. I don't think Rick Pitino is in that same boat. I think Rick Pitino is going to have to win some ball games for this to be worthwhile for St. John's. Like what is a realistic expectation both for this season and for the 5 years? So probably 3 to 5 years. I expect him to be like like I don't expect a long run here.
I think they could be, and probably arguably will be in a lot of places, pick top 25 to start the year. They have a lot of hyper productive transfers that come from lower levels that, all right, do we know if they're going to translate to the Big East? That's kind of shaky, but I mean, he's such a fantastic coach that I think it'll work. The question I have with him is going forward, is he going to start trying to recruit like big time freshmen, or is he going to try to do what like Texas and even Kansas starting to now, like just mine the best couple portal guys? Yeah. Because he's not going to be there that long.
Right.
So, like, he's not going to try to build a program. He's just going to try to pick off good players every year.
I'm sure he's just going to go after the New York City guys and play that card and just play, like, Marquise Noel. Like, if Marquise Noel had more eligibility. Did Marquise Noel?
No, that was his fifth year. That was his fifth year. But, yeah, like, what an easy pitch.
If there's a scenario where Marquise Noel could have come back to Kansas State, Rick Pitino gets on the phone. He's just like, listen, I know Kansas State worked out for you last year, but, like, come home. It's time to come home.
Yeah, don't you want to do that same thing in the Garden every night? I know you did it in the tournament, like do it every single night.
I feel like that's going to be the play. But yeah, so you think they'll be competitive? You think? I mean, like they're going to be really. Is Soriano back?
Soriano's like the only guy he allowed back in the gym. I think he locked everybody else out. Yeah. Like he took away. Yeah, Pasha Alexander gone. Yeah,
he went to Butler. Pasha Alexander. Yeah.
I'm very curious. That's a strange fit. That's maybe a little farther down the agenda here, but no, I think they're going to be really good. They brought in the Ivy League Player of the Year, Jordan Dingle from Penn, one of the best players from Iona, Danius Jenkins, which like. He's going to need a waiver. There's that whole thing this year with the two-time transfer guys trying to get their waivers. But I think
Rothstein gets rock hard when guys don't get their waivers. John Rothstein.
He loves it, man. Slam the door out.
The only times I ever hear about guys like not getting their waivers is Rothstein's like, And it looks like this guy that thought he could transfer twice. Not so fast.
And I think, because I don't think coaches want people to be able to transfer twice all the time. And I I think Rothstein wants to project that.
Are you saying that
he's aligned with a lot of the coaches' interests generally.
What about Ed Cooley to Georgetown? That was one that...
I'm excited to see how it goes. I'm really excited that he's in conference because I think Ed Cooley going back to Providence is going to be it won't be quite Beard back to Texas Tech last year. But I think Providence fans are going to be mean to him next year.
I think it could be.
You think it'll be that level?
Because I think Chris Beard at least delivered almost a national championship game, almost a national championship to Texas Tech, where I imagine there were some people in Lubbock. Now they hate the man, and I'm not here to say that the Texas Tech fans like Chris Beard, whatever. But I imagine there were a couple cooler heads in that crowd that night that were like, this guy, kind of did some great things for us, and we love. Now, Ed Cooley was a good coach at Providence, but I think the second he stabbed Providence in the back, I feel like Providence fans were like, this motherfucker never did anything for, they just immediately were like, we never won anything. You're like, you just won the Big East for the first time. Like, no, that didn't count. We didn't win shit with this guy. And plus you got the East Coast. I just feel like the East Coast people are a little nastier than the West Texas
people. It's just
people.
the amount of them that are like, well, he stopped recruiting for us in February. That's why we started sucking down the stretch. Yeah. Like he gave up on us. We're ready to give up on him.
I could see it being more vicious. I could. I don't know.
I think the East Coast. I think he might.
I could see it being more vicious. Yeah. I could see just beer cans being thrown on the court. And
it's the worst part is like Chris Beard brought a good Texas team to Lubbock last year, and they competed. They lost, I think, but Georgetown's probably going to suck next year. Providence could beat them by 40,
and they will. If they're not going to let off the gas.
No.
What's the Kim English Cooley relationship? I wonder.
I think it's fairly civil, but it's odd because Kim English is a DMV guy, so and he's kind of coming from there. George Mason, true. They almost swap spots.
That's true.
I could
because that's the only thing that could stop us if Kim English has almost respect for.
He's not a take the foot off the gas guy. Yeah, I don't think he's going to worry about that.
If there's just a world where Kim English is like, I respect Ed Cooley to do that too much, then we might be in trouble. But otherwise, I think the fans are like, let's win by 1,000.
Yes.
Let's throw his carcass.
Which I think that'd be great. River. Just like this monster. Because the atmosphere in Lubbock last year was so great. And I kind of made like a stink about it. It was like kind of what you were saying. He did so much good for that program that maybe don't completely throw him under the bus. He went to his alma mater, but like Cooley doesn't really have that defense. So
because there are two Texas Tech fans that I know, and one of them I reached out to for the beer game, and he said honestly, that's why I say that is because like one of them said to me like honestly I really hate that Beard did this and whatever, but like I respect that like what happened with our he had like that sort of point of view that was like
that is not the vocal majority on Twitter.
It is definitely not. But I'm saying that there is kind of like a quiet like undercurrent.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much now that Chris Beard is But at that time there was like a quiet undercurrent of like, I want to boo him, but like honestly, he went back to his alma mater, and we almost won the national championship, and like there is sort of I am thankful for what he did for the school, and like and I don't think Ed Cooley's getting that treatment.
No,
I don't think he's getting that treatment.
Unfortunately, has not earned that, which is more fun for us because it's going to be awesome to watch.
Micah Shrewsberry to Notre Dame.
Well, Notre Dame's going to be horrific next year.
They are.
That is one of like the youngest, least talented rosters I've ever seen in a power conference, which is mean because I think he's an incredible X&O coach and he's going to build something there, but like they're going to be starting 2 3-star guards in the backcourt in the ACC, and that's not going to be a lot of fun. He will draw up some great stuff, but I think it's going to be a slow start.
It'll be slow, but I will keep I will carry water from Micah Shrewsberry until further notice.
Please
I will
do.
Continue. Like he could start 0-15 and I will still be.
Hell yeah.
I freaking love him.
I interviewed
love him so much.
Adam Fisher, the new Temple coach, who's on his staff at Penn State. And I was like, what did you learn from each of these guys? He's like, Micah Shrewsberry's X and O's are just beyond anything. I was like, all right, so he's never going to be horrible because he's just too good of a coach.
He'll always be able to draw some up. Now, the problem at the college level is you can draw some shit up, but like the guys, and I've seen it firsthand. I've been in some huddles where a play gets drawn up and then everyone goes out there and then the ref hands the ball to the guy to take it out of bounds, and then there's at least one player on the court that's like, fuck, what did we draw up again? Like, Coach, what was it?
Not even deliberately disobeying, just can't even remember.
It's like, shit, I spaced out there I forgot I was in the game. Crap, that's right. When you were drawing that up, I forgot. But no, Shrewsbury's all X's and O's guy. Like I'm fired up too because he's an Indiana guy. He's a Hoosier, and to be back in Indiana, I think I think he's going to tap into. He's going to find like a bunch of like just under the radar gritty type Indiana recruits.
Well, isn't it? I mean, it's just so much harder to get guys in there, right? Like it's just you're recruiting to a different group than Indiana. Not that Indiana's a bad school by any means, but Notre Dame, that's tough.